When a natural disaster strikes, like Hurricane Helene or Milton, the devastation can be overwhelming, especially for those who have lost property. But in the aftermath, it's important to understand your legal rights and options for recovery. If you've lost your home, belongings, or business, what steps can you take to rebuild, and who can be held responsible? My name is Megan Shaw, and I'm a personal injury attorney with Parrish & Goodman. We help people all throughout the state of Florida receive compensation for damages and injuries they received through no fault of their own. So if your property is destroyed in a natural disaster, what do? First, let's start with insurance. Homeowners, renters, and business owners often rely on their insurance policies to cover damages from hurricanes. But here's the catch. Not all policies cover the same type of damage. Wind damage may be covered under standard homeowners insurance, but flood damage may not. That often requires a separate policy. After a hurricane, one of your first steps should be filing a claim with your insurance company. Now, if your claim is denied or underpaid, you have the right to challenge that decision. Insurance companies have a duty to handle claims in good faith, and when they don't, you can take legal action. This might involve an independent adjuster, a mediation, or even a lawsuit if your insurer isn't treating you fairly. It is extremely important that you keep all records, take photos of the damage, and stay on top of deadlines for filing claims. Most importantly, contact a lawyer to help you receive fair compensation. For those without insurance, there are still legal rights to consider. After a major disaster, federal and state aid may be available. Agencies like FEMA provide grants for temporary housing, home repairs, and other disaster-related expenses. It's important to apply as soon as possible, as these funds are limited and the application process can take some time. Now, what if someone else's negligence contributed to your property loss? For example, if a contractor improperly built your home, or if a city failed to maintain storm drains, there may be a case for liability, even with a natural disaster. In these situations, you may be able to pursue legal action against the responsible party. But proving negligence after a natural disaster can be complex, so it's important to consult with an attorney who specializes in this type of law. It's also worth mentioning that mortgage companies and landlords have responsibilities too. If you have a mortgage, you may be eligible for disaster relief options, such as temporary forbearance, meaning you could delay or reduce your payments. If you're renting, landlords must ensure the property is habitable after a storm, and they may need to refund rent if the damage makes it unsafe to live there. Finally, be cautious of fraud. After disaster, scams and fraud are unfortunately very common. Be wary of contractors or repair services that ask for large payments up front or make unrealistic promises. After Hurricane Ian in 2022, we had a client who was injured in a car accident, but her car accident was actually related to the hurricane because the city failed to put up a stop sign again after it blew away from the storm. This accident occurred months after the hurricane. So at first, we didn't even know it was related to the hurricane. But given how long it was and the stop sign still wasn't replaced, the city was responsible. During our investigation of the case is when we found out that the stop sign was there right before the hurricane, but was never replaced after. If you've lost property in a hurricane like Helene, Milton, or even Ian, you have rights from insurance claims, federal aid, and potential legal actions to hold others accountable for negligence. If you've lost property in a hurricane or other natural disaster, you have rights from insurance claims, federal aid, and potential legal actions to holding others accountable for negligence. Navigating these processes can be difficult, but knowing your rights and acting quickly can make a big difference in getting you back on your feet. If you were the victim of damages caused by a natural disaster, you have options. Schedule a time to meet with our team to review your case. There is no cost for speaking to us, and if we cannot win, we will tell you up front. If your case has merit, we will take it on, but if it doesn't, we won't. Contact Parrish & Goodman today.